Okay, so your test is on Tuesday next week, and it's on sections 4.1 to 4.3. Let's look at 1a. Decide whether the function is a polynomial function. If so, write it in standard form and state its degree, type, and leading coefficient. For a, is this a polynomial function? Yes, it is. So which term comes first in standard form? Negative 3x to the fourth. What's next?
Negative x 3.
Perfect. What's next?
Plus 2x 2.
And then?
Plus 2x. Negative 2x.
Perfect. So we just got to make sure they're in descending order. So we start with our highest degree, then the next one, the next one, the next one. So now for degree, type, and leading coefficient, all we do is look at our first term. So what is the degree of our first term? 4. What is the type when it has a degree of 4?
Even.
Quartic. And then what's our leading coefficient?
Negative 3.
Thanks, Sandeep. Negative 3. Any questions on these? We're going to do the next two, like part B and C, on Monday. So I just want to make sure we have time for one of each today. A little side note here, what makes it not a polynomial function would be like a negative exponent. So if we had x to the negative 2, what else would be not a polynomial function? If we have x in the denominator, what else? If we have a square root of x. All right, let's look at 2a. So we have to describe the end behavior of the graph of the function. So end behavior is the ones with arrows. So what term are we looking at here for a? We look at our highest degree, so negative 3x to the fourth power. Is this positive or negative? Negative. So that means our right one goes up or down? Our right one goes down since it's negative. So now we need to see if it's even or odd to see what the left one's going to do. Is this even or odd? Even. So they go in the same direction. So what's the left one going to do?
Down.
Down. So we have down and down.
Wait, so if it's odd, it would go. Oh, so basically the exponent is like gonna say which one if it goes down or up.
Right.
Oh.
So the exponents even or odd? Odd is opposite directions. Even is same.
So your coefficient's gonna like make.
The coefficient tells you what the right one's going to do. So if that's just positive or negative. We don't care about this number. All we care is that it's positive or negative. All right, number 3a, graph the polynomial function. So to graph, we need two things. We need to find our end behavior, and we need to plug in points. What is our end behavior here? So where are our arrows going to go?
Down and up.
So if it's negative, that tells us our right one goes down. Is this even or odd? Odd.
Odd.
So are they going to go in the
Up.
same direction or opposite direction?
Up.
So up and then down. The positive or negative always tells us the right one. So since it's negative, it ends going down, and since it's odd, it goes in opposite direction, so it has to start going up. So the positive or negative always determines the right one. Even or odd tells us, since it's odd, it goes in opposite direction. So since the right one went down, the left one has to go up. Okay, now we can plug in points. Let's just plug in -2, 0, and 2. So when we plug in -2, we have negative times -2 cubed plus -2. So here we just have to be careful with our signs, because we have this negative on the outside of our parentheses, and we have one inside of our parentheses. What is -2 cubed? -2 to the third power.
-8.
-8. But then -8 times a negative becomes what?
Positive.
+8. So we have +8 minus 2. What does that give us? 6.
6. Yep.
So when x is -2, y is 6. We can go ahead and graph that. So we go to the left 2 and up 6. Put a point there. Next we plug in 0. So we have -0 cubed plus 0. What does that give us? 0. So we put a point at 0, 0. And then lastly we plug in 2. So 2 cubed with a negative on the outside plus 2. What is 2 cubed? 8, but then we have that negative on the outside, so it's -8 plus 2. What's -8 plus 2? -6. So our next point's at 2, -6. So we just need to make sure our lines in our graph match our arrows here, so we start going up and then end going down. All right, number 4. So we are adding the polynomials. Remember, when adding, we just combine our like terms. So we start with the highest degree, then work our way down. Do we have any other x cubes? Nope, so we just have x cubed to start, then x squared. X squared minus x squared, what would that be? They cancel out. So now we move on to our x terms. 3x plus 7x plus 10x, and then -4 minus 16, -20. So that's our answer. Remember, when subtracting, you have to distribute. You distribute the negative. But we'll save that one for Monday. So let's go to number 5. Find the product. So when we have 3 binomials, what should we do first? Perfect. Multiply the first 2, and then multiply that answer by the third one. So we have to FOIL these 2. So the first terms, what's x times 2x? 2x squared. What's x times 4? 4x. -2 times 2x? -4x. And -2 times 4? -8. Can we simplify this? Yep. So the 4x and the -4x cancel. So we have 2x squared minus 8. Now we take this, multiply it by our third binomial. So the x minus 6. Now we FOIL again. So we have 2x squared times x 2x cubed. 2x squared times negative 6. Negative 12x squared. Negative 8 times x. And negative 8 times negative 6. Positive 48. Can we combine any terms here? Do we have any like terms? Nope, so this is our answer. Sometimes for this step you would have to combine your like terms, but here we just got lucky, didn't have to. Alright, I think that's the last one on this page. Yep, so let's go to the next page. So we're going to divide using long division. I'm going to save A for you. So let's look at B. What goes on the outside? X plus 4. We're doing long division. This one's B. What goes on the inside? Are we missing any terms in here? We're missing x cubed and we're missing x. So we need to make sure we don't forget those. So we got to put those into underneath. So we have 4x to the 4th plus 0 x cubed minus x squared plus 0x minus 7. So super important, cannot forget these. You will get the answer wrong if you don't put these in. So got to make sure you have every degree. So if you start with 4, you need 3, 2, 1, and your constant. If you start with 3, you need 3, 2, 1, and your constant. All right, let's divide. Where do we start? What do we do? So what multiplies to x to give us x to the 4th? Perfect. We keep our x cubeds in line. What do we do next? Multiply. So x cubed times x would be x to the 4th. X cubed times 4 would be 4x cubed. What do we do next? Change the sign. Cannot forget to change the sign. This way. These cancel. Then we combine. What is 0 minus 4? Negative 4x cubed. We can drop down this negative x squared. So what times x gives us negative 4x cubed? Negative 4x squared. Perfect. What do we do next? Multiply. Negative 4x squared times x would be negative 4x cubed. Negative 4x squared times 4, negative 16x squared. What do we do next? Change the signs. These cancel. What's negative x squared plus 16x squared? 15x squared. We can drop down the 0x. What's next? Perfect. We can multiply 15x to x to give us 15x squared. And then 15x times 4? 60x. What's next? Change the signs. So cancel. 0x minus 60x is what? Negative 60x. Drop down the 7. Can we get another number? Did we use our last spot? No, we still have our constant to put up there. So what times x gives us negative 60x? Negative 60. So now we multiply. Negative 60 times x would be negative 60x. What's negative 60 times 4? What's 6 times 4? 240. Negative 240. Got to change signs, so positive and positive. Cancel. What is negative 7 plus 240? 233. What do we do next? Plus 233 over x plus 4. Perfect. So this is our answer.
You know how like if there's missing a number, like is missing to like 0.
Alright, let's take a look at, I don't know what number on, but A. The next one. 8A. So we're dividing using synthetic division. What goes on the outside? Negative 4. What goes on the inside? 1, 0, negative 1, 0, and negative 7. Cannot forget that we have a 0x cubed in here and a 0x. So same thing for synthetic division. We need to make sure all of our terms are there. And they have to be in the same order too. So we have to make sure that 0 comes after the x to the 4th, and then 1 comes after the negative 1. What do we do first? Drop down the 1. Then what? Multiply. So negative 4, then we add, then we multiply, then we add, then we multiply, then we add, then we multiply, then we add. How do we write our answer? Perfect. Since we started with x to the 4th, we start with x cubed. Our coefficient's 1, so we don't have to write it. What comes next? Negative 4x squared plus 15x minus 60 plus 233 over x plus 4. So remember, this last thing is your remainder. So you have to write it as a fraction. If you notice, this is the same exact problem from 7b. This one, same thing. Just solved it a different way. Got the same exact answer, because it's the same problem. Just solved it with synthetic division. First one we did long division. Any questions on that one? All right, last problem. So 9a. So we have to evaluate using synthetic division. So this is our shortcut where we would take x and plug it into all of our x's, but here we can do synthetic division, so we don't have to plug it in. We just do synthetic division. So what goes on the outside? Negative 3. Remember, when it says x is equal to, we don't change the sign. So if it tells us x is equal to this, don't change the sign. That's what goes on the outside. What goes on the inside? Negative 2, 4, 8, 10. Are we missing any terms? No. So we're good to go. What do we do first? Drop down the negative 2. Then what? Negative 3 times negative 2 would be positive 6. Then what? So 10. Negative 30. Negative 22. 66. 76. So what's our answer? 76. So for these that say evaluate, your answer is just the remainder.